Welcome back to Creative Endeavoring. Today, we're going to bring everything that we've been talking about full circle because the last episode was a lot. We went deep into how your system works. We talked about your subconscious patterns, how your default mode network narrates those patterns in real time, how your brain is constantly predicting what's going to happen next, and how your nervous system responds to those predictions by asking that one core question. Am I safe, or do I need to protect myself? And then we walked through a few examples, right? Where the same situation can lead to completely different experiences based on your default state. But in the last example that I gave, something different happened. The thought still came up and the pattern still started, but instead of automatically following it, you noticed it. And that moment right there is what we're going to be exploring today, because there is a difference between the part of you that thinks and the part of you that can observe those thoughts. Okay, most people live almost entirely in the thinking mind. Thought after thought, reaction after reaction, loop after loop, without ever stepping outside of it. But there is another position that is available to you, and I call that the perceiver. It's not another voice in your head, and it's not something that you have to create. It's the part of you that's already aware and present. It's the part that can notice, okay, I'm overthinking right now, I am reacting, or I'm starting to spiral. And the moment that you can see that, you are no longer fully inside of the thought. You're observing it. And that might seem simple or not, but it changes everything. Because when you're fully identified with your thoughts, they feel true and they feel urgent. They feel like they are you. But when you observe them, they become something you're experiencing, not something that you are. And that creates the space that we talked about in the last episode. Space is where choice exists, okay? Not force change or control, not trying to, fix every single thought that comes up, just space, the ability to pause and not immediately react. And that's important because the goal here isn't to stop thinking. That's not realistic. Your brain is designed to think and to predict and keep you safe and efficient. So the thoughts will come and the patterns will activate. Your default mode network is still going to do its job. But now, by being the perceiver, not the thinker, you're not completely run by it. You can see it happening. And that alone starts to change the system because prediction models run strongest when they're automatic and unobserved. The moment that they're seen, they start to lose that grip. The neural pathways that support those patterns weaken because they're no longer being reinforced in the same way. You're not adding emotion to them or building more stories on top of them. You're just observing them. And when a pattern isn't continuously reinforced, the brain starts to prune it. It becomes less dominant and automatic. And over time, new pathways begin to form based on what you choose to engage with instead. And this is where regulation starts to happen naturally. When you're fully inside a negative thought pattern, your nervous system reacts quickly, right? There's urgency and tension. But when you observe those patterns without immediately engaging with them, your nervous system has space to settle and you are no longer feeding the same loop. And over time, what that does is it changes your baseline because now you're not just reacting from your default state, you are becoming aware of it in real time. And that awareness is what allows it to shift. And this doesn't mean you're going to catch every thought or that you'll always stay in the observing position. You'll still get pulled in sometimes. That's normal. We are human. But what will happen when you stay consistent is that those moments will shorten. You'll come back faster. You'll recognize it sooner, and that's how the system begins to rewire through repetition of noticing, through creating space again and again. And over time, what used to feel automatic starts to feel optional. What used to feel like truth starts to feel like a pattern. And from there, you can begin to choose more intentionally, not perfectly or all at once, but gradually. That's how real change happens. Our system is running all the time, and you are either the thinker or the perceiver. Okay, so this is what each one looks like. The thinker is what most people identify with. It feels like you, it feels like your voice, it feels like your personality. But in reality, the thinker is the voice that is generated from your system, and it's built from everything that we talked about. Your subconscious feeds it information, your default mode network narrates it, your prediction model shapes it, and your nervous system influences the tone of it. So when you're thinking, that's your system talking back to you, because the thinker isn't trying to create something new, it's trying to confirm what your system already expects. So if your system expects stress, the thinker will find it. If your system expects rejection, the thinker will build an entire story around it. If your system expects pressure, then the thinker will stay in that loop. And that is what shows up as overthinking, replaying conversations, anticipating outcomes before they even happen, creating meaning instantly without space. You are just reacting. It feels personal, but it's actually patterns. We've all been there, thinking about a situation or a relationship and just being so consumed in it that you're just completely unaware of your surrounding, just unconsciously moving through your day, driving, cooking, and then you snap out of it and think, like, wait, how did I even get here? Or did I already add the salt? That's the autopilot that we talked about. And this is where people get stuck because it feels like this is just how I think, but it's not. This is how your system thinks based on its current state. And to be clear, there is nothing wrong with the thinker. When in the right state, it helps you to problem solve and it helps you to organize your day and move forward. This is not something you need to fix. Okay, this is automation. It is efficiency. It is your brain doing exactly what it is designed to do: predict, interpret, and protect. The only issue is that most people don't realize that they're inside of it and that they're being consumed by it and they're fully identified with it. Now, the perceiver is not something that you become. Okay, it's something that you recognize. The perceiver is what you are when you are aware of the thought instead of inside of it. It's not your subconscious or your prediction model or even your emotional reaction. It's the position that can observe all of it. Okay, and I like to think of thoughts as clouds passing through, and that as each thought comes in, you have the ability to choose them. Okay, one thought passes, maybe about a past conflict, right? You observe it, you let it pass. Another thought comes in with, let's say, a work idea, you engage. Another thought reminds you to order dog food, you act on it. You don't have to be pulled into every single thought. When you're the thinker, you're inside the thought, you're reacting to predictions, you're driven by your past patterns. Your nervous system is leading, and it feels like life is happening to me. But when you are the perceiver, you're aware of the thought. You can see the prediction forming. You can pause before reacting, and you can feel what's happening in your body without becoming it. And instead, it feels like I see what's happening. And this is where everything that we've been talking about connects because this isn't just mindset. This is physiological. When you are the thinker, your nervous system leads. When you're the perceiver, you can lead your nervous system. And from our very first episode, we learned that the nervous system is our creative instrument. It either feels expansive or restrictive. Your thoughts do the same thing. They either expand you or contract you. So I'm going to use the same example from the last episode so we can go ahead and make this feel real and relatable, okay? So someone doesn't text you back. The thinker feels the trigger and immediately goes, okay, did I say something wrong? Why are they ignoring me? Right? You feel tension in your body. Your mind starts creating a story. Your system predicted something and now it's trying to confirm it. You're literally reliving a past experience in real time. The perceiver notices something different. Okay, they don't get the text back. They feel the trigger. And instead of immediately reacting, they pause. They say, okay, my system is expecting rejection right now. Instead of entering the thought pattern, you are observing it. And in that space, you don't attach meaning to it. So you might choose something more grounded, like there's no urgency or conflict here. I know that they're going to respond when they can. And this is important because you're not trying to stop thinking. That's not the goal. You don't just stop being a thinker. You just stop being run by the thinker. So now when we zoom out, everything connects, right? Your default state explains your baseline. Your nervous system explains your reactions. Your prediction model explains your expectations. And the thinker is the output of all of that. But the perceiver is what allows you to step outside of it. So instead of trying to control your thoughts, just start here. You start with, can I notice this thought instead of immediately believing it? Or what is my system expecting right now? Am I reacting or am I observing first? That's it. There's no force, there's no pressure, it's just awareness. And this is the shift. The moment you become the perceiver, even for a second, you create space. Your nervous system can regulate, your thoughts can settle, and your identity begins to shift because you're no longer inside the loop. Okay, so in the next episode, we're going one step further into understanding more about your creative instruments, the nervous system. So take what resonates, leave behind what doesn't, and I'll see you at the next episode.